Hey, this is Eric with Techno RV. We get asked a lot of questions about tire safety and proper PSI in your tires. And one of the methods to ensure that you're doing that properly is to know your weights on your RV. So we're excited today. We're getting with Jim and Lisa with the Escapee SmartWeigh team, and we're going to go get the RV weighed and ask them some questions about all this, get some answers. It's going to be a good time. So let's get these slides in and go see Jim and Lisa.
The Escapee SmartWeigh team is waiting for me just around the corner. And as I drive over to them, I want to take a few moments to say a few things about this process. First, it doesn't take that long. You'll only be in about 15 or 20 minutes. This includes the weighing and the debriefing. You will have a little bit of homework to do. It's easy stuff though. The SmartWeigh team, they'll send you a form to fill out. This form has information regarding your RV and tire weight limits. By having these numbers, it'll be easy to compare and contrast when you get your real numbers from the weighing. I spent a good amount of time asking Jim questions after my weighing, and we decided not to edit this down too much because there's so much valuable information that he gave to us. I know it's not a short video, it's an investment of your time, but if you'll stick with this video, I guarantee you'll learn something you did not know. We will talk about issues on all types of RVs, from Class A's to travel trailers. They're all important, and they all have their limits. I also wrote an article about this process that you can find on technorv.com in our articles section. As I pull up, Jim and Lisa, they get right to work. First they come around and get the paperwork that I filled out. Then they start weighing. Remember, show up to your appointment as you would normally travel. Empty black tank, empty gray tank, a quarter or a third tank of fresh water, or however much you normally carry around, and a full tank of gas. Then be sure to load the kids and dogs and whatever else you bring. Now let's watch the process and Jim and Lisa go through the weighing process. Then Jim will walk me through my numbers and then I can ask my questions.
More right there. You park, put off the brake.
1200.
With this here, you got 6,600 on the right. Let me turn around this way. I like to go with the way the coach is, if you don't mind. It's 6,600, 6,450. You're pretty well even. That is, I don't do math anymore. You're looking at 13,050 on the front.
Okay.
All right. Your GVWR is 14,320.
Okay.
So you're under that. So you get a gold star for that.
Okay, wonderful.
All right. So you're under that. So you can add more bowling balls or whatever you want on that.
Or I can eat more.
Eat more, that's it.
Yeah.
This, you got 1080, 10,800, 10,800 on the rear.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
It is. I mean, this is pretty well an even coach.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, 10,080, 800. You're at 21,600 on the rear, and axle weight rating in the back is 24,000, so you're way under it too.
So we're good.
So you can add wine, more toys,
Now
whatever.
keep
you
in
want.
mind, Tammy wasn't in the coach because she was videoing, so we got to add some weight over here, right?
Yeah, but not that much. Not that much.
Not that much? You hear that, Tammy?
Yeah, not over 300. Okay. With that being said, let me see where you are on your 6450 equal. Total, your coach weighs 34,650. Your GVWR is 35,400, so you're under it. So you don't have to take anything out. You could add weight if you wanted to.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to add it up here because what's up here? Nothing.
Yeah, right.
There's
Exactly.
nothing. All your bays and all that stuff. Are you full of water right now?
I've got a little over a third right
Okay,
now.
that's what you need to carry with. What about fuel?
About 3/4.
Okay, so one thing you're going to look at, and we're going to give you another sheet of paper, is you're going to add a little bit of fuel. Your fuel tank's probably a little bit towards the front. Okay, when that happens, you're going to add a little bit to the rear, and you're going to add a little bit to the front. That's that physics coming in.
Okay.
All right, which is no problem. You got enough to run full
Right.
fuel,
Right.
which is great.
So overall weight rating right now, I can go 35,400.
35,400 exactly.
Okay.
And you're at 34,650 right now.
Got it.
Now, if we add the 1050 and 1200, add 1200, add 1150, going down the road, you're pulling your coach, pulling your SUV is 39,250. That's your gross combined weight rate. That's everything going down the road. Your GCWR, according to the manufacturer, is 45,320.
Got it.
So you're way under that. You have a big enough coach to pull what you're pulling.
Got it.
So you have a good coach for what your lifestyle is right now.
And overall, the 4Runner is what, 4,000, like 4,500, something like that.
1050. You're at 4,600.
4,600. Okay.
Yeah. So remember, it has a vehicle weight rating also.
Got it.
And you can get that off the federal sticker too.
Yeah.
It has an axle weight rating and for the front and the rear. Generally, we don't see those overloaded.
But I'm well within my means here.
Well, we don't know.
load range.
Well, the load range, yeah, you're way within the load range. We're going to look at the load range for the vehicle here, or for the coach here in just a second. You have good .H code. You generally carry 120 pounds of pressure. With Michelin tires, what you would do to set the tire pressure the way you want to, if you want to go down or up, but your load may vary depending upon where you go.
Got it.
Unlike us.
Right.
All right. So you go to the heavier tire on the axle. So this is 6,600. You go to the Michelin website. You would go to the brand, the model, the size that you have. Then you go to the scale for single tire.
Got it.
And it may say 6,600. It may say 6,800.
Right.
And it may say, hey, you only need 100 pounds of pressure.
Right. Got it.
Again, that's for what the load you are carrying today.
Right.
And then for the duals, you do the same thing for the duals. You pick the heaviest tire, which is 10,800. Go to the dual section, and then it will tell you what air pressure to put in there. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, of carrying full pressure in that because you're like us, you're up and down on the weight issue. It just depends on where you go, what you take.
So the biggest number that I'm semi-close to is just the GVWR because I'm within about 1,000 or so pounds of that.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is you haven't exceeded it.
Right, yeah.
You haven't exceeded any of the rate ratings for the coach or the SUV. Now let's look at the tires now. Everything you need to know about a tire is going to be on the tire.
Okay.
Believe it or not. This is the Smart Way program exercise program. If you notice right here, it says your load range for single is 7,160 for single. Well, you look at these numbers here, what's it telling you? You're under the weight limit for a single.
I'm good.
All right. On the double, it's going to be, it's 6,610 pounds. But again, that's 6,610 times 2 equals 13,220. you're way under that for the dual. So that means you have a big enough tire for what you're carrying.
So basically the tires can handle more weight than the overall rig is rated for then.
If you want to say that, yeah.
Because I'm within 1,000 pounds of just what the GVWR is, but yet my tires can handle another.
Yeah, but that's because you have big size tires. You have, what do we say, HR, you have load range H tires. If you had smaller tires, and sometimes people will they'll buy new tires, these are expensive, and they'll put a less expensive tire on and go down the rate ratings, then that's when they need to worry about what the tire's carrying. They may not be able to carry load capacity.
And the GVWR comes from more of the chassis side.
The GVWR is set by the engineers. Freightliner sets that. All the engineers set that. The front axle weight rating, the rear axle weight rating, the GVWR, the GCWR. It's just like your SUV, the same thing. Engineers do that.
Okay.
The thing about your .H code, if you look here, this is your .H code. It's a 2715. You want the website? The app site?
Yeah, what's the app site?
It's called TireSafetyGroup.com.
TireSafetyGroup.com.
What that does is I plug in the complete dot code. It'll tell me where the tire was made at, if there's any recalls, and anything else. Because one thing people really need to do, at least once a year, once every 6 years, every 6 months, people need to go to safecar.gov. www.safecar.gov. Put in their serial number for their tow vehicle, their truck, whatever they have.
Right.
And see if there's a recall on it.
Okay.
Because recalls come out, people don't know. And this is the way they'll be safe as they're going down the road. That's why I tell people that you always need to go to safe. And they'll even let you know if car seats, baby seats are on the recall.
Any make, model, car, RV, whatever it is.
Exactly. Okay. Because it's amazing how many, because like I said, Tiffin has had some recalls. Holiday Ramblers has been, Monaco, Prevost, everybody has a recall.
Right.
The only way we know about it is by going to the safecar.gov.
Got it.
Click in the serial number.
Got it.
So let's plug in this code here and see what happens. Okay, your tires are 43 weeks old. They will expire, because we always say tires expire. We need to look at them in 5 years, replace them in 7.
Okay.
It's 5 years, 9 weeks. There's no recall on your tires. Your Canada's remain in Canada, in Kittenville, Nova Scotia, by Michelin.
Okay.
That's what this little website does. What I like about it, it lets me know if there's any recalls on the tires.
Got it.
So sometimes we'll do a Class C. Michelin had a big recall on 16-inch tires the other year, I think last year or 2 years ago, and it's amazing. I mean, what happens, people buy a used coach. The recall didn't get to them.
Got it.
And they have a tire that needs to be replaced. And that's why I like this app, because it will let them know that, hey, there is a recall on that. When I look at the tire, I can say, hey, you got a recall, get a hold of the dealer. That way they're safe going down the road. And that's what Escapee is all about. We want people to be safe going down the road.
So now you've got the look at them at 5 years, definitely get them changed out by 7, but on just like a regular car, they'll sell you a tire saying, hey, this is a 60,000 mile tire. Does the same thing apply for an RV tire? Is there a mileage rating on them that you know of?
You will age out your tires before you wear them out. You're going to cry when you have to get rid of these and you have so many miles, there's so much tread depth left.
Yeah.
Because what happens with RVs, we do what? We set, we travel. We set, travel, set. Where your car, even though you're pulling it, and even for trucks pulling fifth wheels and travel trailer,
right.
They are, when they have their travel trailer or fifth wheel, they can do what? They get their pickup, they go. You get this thing parked, you get in that, and you go.
Yeah.
You will wear out your tires of a truck, of your tow vehicle, sooner than you will on this.
Right.
Those usually go by mileage and tread depth. These go by age.
Go by age.
These go by age. And the code is right there.
2715.
It's the 27th week of 2015 when they came out on the
Okay, so I just need to calculate it out. I'll just know when I need to change them out.
Exactly.
Okay, good enough. So what are the common problems that you see on, let's just stick with Class A's for now. People come in and weigh, they either have a tag axle or they don't. What are the different variations and problems that you see people have?
Well, in this type of coach here where you don't have a tag axle, what we see is people will change tires, but they'll go to a lighter tire.
Got it.
Okay. or because you have to understand, you have a load range H costs a whole lot more than a load range E.
Yes. Okay.
And sometimes economics pays, drives what we do,
Right.
and it should, because this is a safety issue here. The biggest thing that I see when weighing rigs is they're overweight in the axle.
Okay.
Axle weight rating is overloaded, meaning that they've bought too much stuff as they're going down the road, and they do what? They put it in the back, they forget about it. If you put stuff on the rig, you need to take stuff off.
That's a good tip.
And it's kind of like Lisa and I have a joke, and we got this from Escapees, Joe and Kay Peterson, who founded Escapees, because Kay Peterson would get a shirt, and Joe would start crying because he realizes that one of his favorite shirts is going to be kicked out of his coach. Lisa buys the shirts, my shirt goes out. So it's a good fair play.
I like that role.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a bad one, right?
Yeah. But generally that's what we see. The other thing we see, especially with tow vehicles too, they don't have the tow bar aligned correctly.
Okay.
You don't want it at an angle, you want it level. And that's just one of the other things we see common also.
Because of just being overweight.
Well, no, it's not really being overweight. It's just that they didn't buy the drop-down hitch to keep the hitch level.
Okay, got it.
Because what happens when you have to go into emergency braking, hopefully we'll never have to do that, the front end goes down, the rear end goes up. Mm-hmm. If the tow bar is not at the correct angle, then literally the car can run up underneath the back end of the coach, and you want to do that.
Got it.
For the tag axles, what we see a lot of times is they don't have the right air pressure on the tag itself.
Okay.
Because when you have a tag axle, this drive axle is really a fulcrum. Mm-hmm. We're talking a lot of physics here. Because what happens if you put too much pressure down here, it's going to put too much pressure on the front. Mm-hmm. We weighed a coach the other day that was almost 2,000 pounds. Well, it's like 1,500 pounds too heavy on the front axle.
Which seems odd because you really don't have anything up there. All your weight seems to be in the back.
Exactly. But what happened, he had too much air pressure in the tag axle, which caused the front end to go down. Once we adjusted the tag axle to the proper air pressure, the nose came up and the coach weighed out perfectly.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so what about like towables? Like what are the kind of issues you see with travel trailers and fifth wheels?
Okay, let's do travel trailers. Travel trailers, what we see is that the equalization hitch is not properly placed.
Okay.
Such as, well, the other thing we see too is that your half ton and 3/4 ton can pull anything, but you really can't.
You don't ever run into that though, right?
Oh gosh, how many times on a wayside, right? We ran into that this week. Weighing for the Heartland Rally is we had a pickup come through, a half-ton pickup truck pulling a Heartland travel trailer, and the equalization hitch wasn't properly installed.
Okay.
And by weighing him, what happens when you have a pickup truck pulling a towable is you want to, when you put the trailer on there, you want to have at least a little positive weight go on the front so you have positive steering. Okay. You don't want to, I call it steer by bounce, where you have so much weight in the back you kind of go down the road and you bounce as you're going down the road. That's not good. So what we suggested is that they readjust his equalization bars. He did that, came through perfect after that.
Oh, okay.
He still had enough positive weight to tow what he was, a little small travel trailer. On the fifth wheels, what we see is they don't have a big enough truck to pull the trailer they want. They're over the gross combined weight rating, the gross vehicle weight rating, or an axle weight rating. What we do through SmartWay, what we do through our RV boot camp, we try to educate people in order so they can make the proper decisions.
Right.
There are some great dealers out there that will not sell you anything that you can't handle, can't pull. But again, there are, we pay for the sins of others.
Right.
And there are some other people out there that your half ton, your 3/4 ton can pull anything. But it's up to the consumer, the RVer, to do their due diligence at home.
Now, we were talking the other day, and you told me about a situation on, I believe it was a fifth wheel, about the shackles weren't installed correctly. What was that all about?
Okay, on a fifth wheel and even a travel trailer, where the springs come in, there's like a 4 or 5 or 6 inch shackle there. And what that does, it connects the spring to the moment arm and the movement arm. I can't really think of the term it is. But what happens is, in this case here, is a triple axle trailer, and he had new shackles put on. And when they did, they turned them. Instead of going down, they went up, which literally shifted his center tire to the rear. And what happened, he had such a big gap between the first axle and the second axle, and between the second axle and third axle, you probably couldn't have got a piece of paper in between. What he needed to do was readjust that shackle, and everything would line up correct. Years ago, we were in Wyoming in an escapade. A guy come through, one shackle had turned, and it was throwing almost like 5,000 pounds of pressure on this one tire. And we discovered that, by weighing, and so he was able to go to the tire shop and get that fixed. We also suggested, because he had driven such a long way, and because the tire was only rated for like 3,400 pounds, and he'd been carrying 5,000 on there, that he go ahead and purchase new tires for that rig.
Got it.
He did, got the shackle turned, purchased 4 new tires, come through, weighed perfect.
So let's get back into the overweight, underweight, and is one worse than the other?
Okay. In order to get optimum tire wear on your vehicle, you need to be carrying, the proper air pressure for the load you're carrying. What happens when a tire is overweight or underweight, it builds up heat, and heat is really the danger to a tire.
Got it.
What can build up heat is, well, one thing, if you're under in pressure, you're not carrying enough pressure for that load. That's why if you have you're supposed to, for your load, you're supposed to be carrying 110 pounds of pressure, and you only put 80 in there, you're going to build up heat.
Right.
You're overloaded, and you could be underinflated for the load you're carrying.
Right.
So the underinflation is really damaging to the tire. To get the optimum, tire wear, you need to carry the air pressure for that particular load. Since our load varies from time to time, then you need to pick that type of air pressure for the type of load, the maximum type of load that you can carry.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I'm surprised that at some of the events we go to, we'll go around and install tire pressure monitoring systems, and I'm surprised that a lot of people just don't even know what kind of PSI they've got in their tires. So, and I get asked this all the time, so I'll just ask you. Walk us through what is the proper method for determining the proper amount of pressure in your tire.
The best way to do it is have your tires individually weighed, like we did for your coach here. Mm-hmm. That way you can go to the tire inflation charts for the manufacturer of your tire. Michelin in your case, Goodyear, Cooper, whoever tire manufacturer you have, so that you can go to the load, you know what that weight is carrying on that tire, and you want to go, like on the front axle, you want to go to the heaviest tire. So in your case here, you have 6450 and 6600, you want to go to the inflation table for the 6600, it may be 67, 6800, says that you need to carry, 100 pounds of pressure instead of the 120 that you carry, right? Because of the load you're carrying. That's the proper way to do that.
Got it. Okay.
And you do the same thing for the duals also.
Right.
Because again, it's the air pressure that carries the weight.
So if somebody wants to get weighed properly by SmartWeigh, where do they find you?
Okay. The Escapees RV Club on their website, escapees.com, under knowledge is the SmartWeigh website, and they can go in there and click. We have 3 permanent weigh sites. One is in Livingston, Texas, headquarters. We have one in Congress, Arizona, which is I can't think of the name of the park, but it is the park there. It's a permanent weigh site there. George Wickham does that. Mm-hmm. And then there's a permanent weigh site in Somerville, Florida, just north of Tampa, right off Interstate 75 or whatever that interstate is over there. Yeah. And they have a permanent weigh site. Al's the one there. It's always in the magazine. And we also have the traveling scales. We always do it right after Escapade also. Escapade this will be in Vermont. Next year it will be in Tucson, Arizona. Okay. So we always do that. We always do this at boot camp also.
Okay. Right. And so if somebody, they would need to call in and make an appointment, I assume?
That would be correct, yeah. Make sure that, because they only do so many a day, okay. The sooner they know that they're going to be there, then they can call in and get an appointment. We'll send them the forms to be filled out, similar to the form that we have here, mm-hmm. that they fill out. That way they'll be ready to go whenever they pull in. And it takes 15 to 30 minutes, depends upon.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah. So they make an appointment, they get the form, they fill out the information on their RV, and then when they get to the site, the process is 15 to 30 minutes, and basically you're just going and weighing each tire.
And getting out of there. On the permanent weigh sites, it's a cement slab, and there's channels in there that the scales will fit into, so there's no shims. When we're out at a rally, we use shims because we want the coach to be level as possible because of the fluids in the coach.
Right.
We don't want to, if we weigh off level, or we have a certain standard that we use that Lee Kander and Mark Nemeth developed the program that they said this is the standards that we're going to have, and that's what we're trying to keep up. That's why I carry a level with me, so that I make sure that where we weigh at, it's going to be level.
Got it.
And we use the shims.
Got it. So you mentioned this RV boot camp, and I've heard a lot about that. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about what that is.
Okay, RV boot camp is a 3-day knowledge session. In essence, it tells you everything you need to know about your RV, but with phrase and task. It goes into weight safety, tire safety, personal safety, fire safety. It goes into hooking up, talks about hitches, talks about gas versus diesel. We bring in the RV driving school. We bring in Mac McCoy, the fire guy. Mark Nemeth and I teach in that school. And really, it's a great school to learn about how to RV safe. We give a lot of tips and tricks, a lot of maintenance tips. We have a lot of people that will fly into different locations, like in Livingston. They'll fly into Houston, rent a car, come up to the school, California, Maine, and so they always sell out.
Right.
They always sell out. We do 2 a year in Livingston. They're in November. We do back-to-back every weekend. They're on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we do them right before the Escapade, this year in Vermont. And then we always do one in January in Congress, Arizona, at Northland, which is an RV park.
Right.
We do one there. We have done them before in Raccoon Valley, up the street of Knoxville. We do that. We're trying to get out more information. We want people to be safe. That's what we want to do.
And they can find out more information about the boot camp just by going to Escapees?
Escapees.com. Under knowledge, again, under boot camp, I'll tell you what the cost is, where it's at.
Okay.
And it's great. I didn't think I needed it. Lisa, my wife, drugged me to it. You probably could have heard my fingernails scraping across 190 as we were heading to
I get it.
But I learned so much. It was unreal. Because it's like one of those things, I know everything. No, you don't.
Right.
It's for seasoned people, and we've had people come through 4 or 5 times.
Wow, that's good.
Which is great because they take RVing seriously and they want to have fun. And that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Well, I feel a lot better about having my RV.
Yeah,
it's always, you just never know, and it looks like we've got some pretty good numbers. Tammy, you feel better about this?
Absolutely. We have more room.
Oh, no.
More stuff.
I know where this is headed.
Let me give you this. This is your sheet here. Again, this is your homework. Take all of these figures that I had here and put them over here and compare them to your all your other weights that we had.
Okay.
That. I have one other sheet of paper I want to give you also. After we weigh people, we like to give them a little booklet about now that you've been weighed. And it's really handy, especially if you are overweight in some area. It lets you know what you can do in order to assist yourself to drop some of the weight. But this is called, now that you've been weighed, this gives you peace of mind. It talks about if you exceeded any of the limits, the vehicle weight limits, the axle weight limits, or something like that. Well, this page here, this is the one that's important because we failed, we can't remember how we were when we got weighed. This is the status of your rig, how much weight you had in there, such as the date, the location of the RV, how many passengers are in there, the quantity of fuel, 3/4, so you're going to put that in there, how much propane you have, how much fresh water, gray water, black water, any unusual weight, like Lincoln, in there. So this kind of, because you'd be surprised, any unusual weight, we'll ask people, they'll be overweight on one axle, and we'll say, or on one side of the coach, we'll ask them what happened. Well, I'm a bowler, so I have bowling balls.
Right.
Or I collect rocks. I like books, hardback books.
Right.
And that adds a lot of weight. That's why I see a lot of people going to the Kindle, going to ebooks. Because that way they can have their books and read them and not have all the weight.
Yeah, you don't expect that little things like that would matter, but they add. Over time, you're out on the road for whatever 2-3 years, and you just continue to just pile stuff in,
Exactly.
and then it becomes an issue. And then how often do you recommend that somebody gets weighed?
What I recommend is if you have a significant change in lifestyle, what you're going to carry.
Got it.
And get done. I would do it at least a minimum of twice a year, not twice a year, but once every 2 years.
Got it.
That way, you can see, because again, we add stuff, we forget to take stuff off. We keep adding stuff. Okay. On the other side of this is for the hitch announcers for truck and trailer RVs. This is specifically designed to them about their fifth wheel hitch, what they can do to adjust it, and for for the travel trailers, how to adjust the hitch also. So
Got it.
that's all included in that little booklet right there.
Okay, well, I've learned a lot. Escapee Smart Way right here in Sevierville, Tennessee. We got it done. We don't really need to make any adjustments. So I'm going to go through and do my homework afterwards, and then we'll check back in. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Yep.